A beautiful night in the prairies as the NLL on TSN Game of the Week rolls into Calgary for a Western Conference battle between the Roughnecks and the Rush. It is going to be a beauty. Hope you enjoy it as much as the fans will. Welcome inside the Ed Whalen broadcast booth here inside the Saddledome alongside Brad Challoner. My name is Teddy Jenner. We'll hear from Chantel Chan in a little bit, and we're coming up on the 7-year anniversary of the Rush franchise's first ever win against the Roughnecks, and they haven't beat Calgary since 2019. Both these teams, Brad, have championship aspirations, and this game is going to help them go a long way.
Yeah, one time this is probably the hottest rivalry in the National Lacrosse League, but because of the COVID shortened year and the time off and Calgary dominating last season, it hasn't felt like it, but I really feel like the rivalry is brewing again, and we'll start up here from the Saddledome. Both these two teams in elite territory right now. Alex Bouquet giving the Rush some great minutes to start this season, and Calgary above 500 right now with the back-to-back weekend, and it all starts here tonight.
Calgary has had to do some coming back in the last few weeks. A tough loss against Toronto 2 weeks ago, a huge comeback win over Halifax. When you come back in games, you need your best players to step up.
Yeah, and you learn resiliency. Calgary down by 4 against Halifax. They scored the last 5 goals of the game. Down by 3 against Toronto late. And they send that one to OT as well, so they're building their confidence up for the Calgary Roughnecks. They know that they're in every game. Their best players have been their best players in crunch time, but no one more clutch than Jeff Cornwall, who has been scoring buzzer-beater goals. He's been playing top defensive minutes, and he has the trust of head coach Kermalowski to make big plays in key situations. Overtime a week ago against Halifax, most teams are going to grab that loose ball and call a timeout, but the trust is there for Jeff Cornwall to take it to the rack and send the game to the W.
Jeff Cornwall is with Chantel Chan.
Jeff, you've been like Mr. Clutch City lately. You've got 2 winners at the buzzer and then also an overtime winner. Are you like Mr. Clutch right now?
I don't think so. I mean, like, I'm just on the floor at the right time in the right place, and sometimes, you know, a blind squirrel finds a nut.
And of course, Saskatchewan definitely does have some pieces on offense like Robert Church and a guy like Mark Matthews. How does your guys' defense slow them down tonight?
I think we have a really strong D. Like, we're very physical, we're fast, we love pushing the floor, and if we play our game, we can probably tire these guys out.
And this is your former team that you're playing against. Any special motivation tonight?
Not so much motivation. Like, I'm just happy to be on the floor, hang out with friends on my old team, friends on my new team. Like, it's a pretty cool night for me.
All right, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
One of his good friends, Christian Del Bianco, the goaltender for the Calgary Roughnecks, has 12 assists on the year. He's just 11 shy of the single-season record.
Yeah, this team is built from the goaltender on out. Not only did Christian Del Bianco stop a lot of balls and keep his team in every game he plays, he's contributing in on the offense with those Hail Mary passes up the floor to his defenders.
And at the other end, the viral sensation, Alex Bouquet, who was absolutely fantastic in the fourth quarter against the Vancouver Warriors last week. And these two goaltenders will go head-to-head tonight. 2 of the best in the National Lacrosse League. Bouquet second in both goals against and save percentage, but they can't stop them all. And one of the guys that does the most damage on the floor is Mark Matthews.
Mark Matthews has been an assist machine to start this season. We always want to see Mark Matthews shoot more. He scored a hat trick a couple weeks ago. When he's hot, but he's still one of the best passers in the National Lacrosse League. No Dan Lintner in the lineup tonight, so if you're Austin Madronic, if you're Marty Dinsdale, if you're Robert Church, stick up, stick ready, because if you're open, Mark Matthews is going to find you.
Mark Matthews and Dane Smith have been lighting up the National Lacrosse League with assists, and there's a look at it. But look at the bottom number on the left, 106. That is the pace that Dane Smith is on this year, which would shatter the record. And Brad, you mentioned before, 106 or 100 points used to just be the benchmark for points. The great Dane could do that in assists alone.
Yeah, now guys are doing it with just apples, as Matthews had the record until a year ago with that 84. Dane Smith broke it. Matthews thinks he could break it this year, but no, Dane Smith is just doing ridiculous damage across the Eastern Conference in the National Lacrosse League.
Kyle Rubish scored the first goal last weekend, and his first goal of the year, but he is mostly known for his defense, and he has been an absolute stalwart all season long, and he's with our own Chantel Chan.
Kyle, the penalty kill was massive last week. How important do you think that will be here tonight?
Yeah, it's always important. It's more important to stay out of the box against Calgary, so we got to stay disciplined and try to limit penalties as much as possible.
Calgary has some of the best transition guys in the league. How do you guys try to contain them tonight?
Yeah, we know they're a threat from the back end. We have to get off the floor early, pick up men early, and just be aware that it's coming. They score a lot of goals from the back end, so we just have to limit that.
Appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Maybe he'll score another one tonight. It is another week to celebrate Every Child Matters, a movement that is near and dear to everyone's heart in the National Lacrosse. If you want to get involved, head over to nll.shop.com or nllstore.ca. Also check out nllunites.com for more. It's the game of the week from Calgary, Roughnecks and Rush, and it's next.
The NLL on TSN is brought to you by Alterna Savings Credit Union. Visit alterna.ca to discover the credit union difference. By nllstore.ca, a Fanatics experience, officially licensed everything. And by Guaranteed Rate. Now more than ever, you need the best.
Okay, mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. The Saskatchewan Rush have just come out onto the floor. Okay, I'm eating the mic, so hopefully that helps.
If you're able to, remove your hats and join the singing voice of your Calgary Roughnecks, Chase Walker, in the singing of the Canadian National Anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for.
Back inside Calgary. Now look, what a beautiful downtown scenery of the city of Calgary. Brad Chowner, Teddy Jenner, NLL on TSN. Game of the week, Rush and Roughnecks. Down to the floor, third party of our team, Chantel Chan.
The Saskatchewan Rush are no longer looking in the rear view to their disappointing season last year. Had a chance to speak with Rush's Ryan Keenan and asked him about tonight's rivalry matchup. And he said last year we went 0-3 against the Roughnecks, and it was a really tough, hard pill to swallow. He said 2 out of those 3 games were really close, but we just couldn't close out, and that was the story of last season. But he says they hope they come out red hot tonight on the road and kind of avenge that 0-3 record last season against Calgary. Teddy, Brad.
Thank you, Chantel and Brad. It's been a story of the last 2 weeks for Saskatchewan. Slow starts. They've been able to get the wins, but they need to find some energy early on in the first few minutes. So we'll see how they come out of things tonight. Let's look at your starting goaltenders for tonight. Starting for the Saskatchewan Rush, it'll be Alex Bouquet. There is 00 on the right side of your screen. Coming in with a 9.43 goals against and a .810 save percentage, a 4-2 record. He's really fit in nicely with the Saskatchewan team since coming over from Vancouver. At the other end, CDB Christian Del Bianco, 4-3, 10.27 goals against and an 8.0 save percentage. But the big thing for Del Bianco is the 12 assists. If you just take his assists alone, Brad, he's 96th in the league in scoring.
He leads the league in shorthanded assists out of all players. He's a goaltender. 23, by the way, is the league record for assists in a season by a goaltender. He has 12, and they're not even halfway through the year yet.
Chris Williams, Andrew Ecclestone, and Blair Ferguson are your officials. Joe Catalano between the benches. Run on the 30-second shot clock, off the draw, loose ball won by Messenger, knocked out of his stick. And will this be back and over? Nice job by Mark Matthews to keep that ball alive. And the Rush will have first possession. And Aaron Whistle will give possession to Calgary. So the Roughnecks will have the first full offensive set here. Claire gives it off to Pace, and here comes the Calgary offense. Garland inside feet to King, as Garland had a stick on Pace, but King just missed. Now running is Rubish. Can he go 2 games in a row with a goal? No help for the big defender, so he'll pass it off to BK3.
You mentioned, Teddy, Saskatchewan slow starts. You can say the same thing about the Calgary Roughnecks. In the games that they've lost, they've been behind early. When they show up on time, when they've scored the first goal, they're 3-1.
Conversely, Saskatchewan 4-0 when they score first, so first goal matters. Here's Robert Church, watched there by Cornwall. Church turns the corner, takes the shot, kicked aside by Del Bianco. Loose ball right to Reese Cowley's up ahead. Shane Simpson, good to see him back in the lineup as he missed last week's game with a lower body injury. If you remember our game here 2 weeks ago, he got hurt running down the floor on a goal by Courier that he assisted on. So good to see him back. Here's Cook with a shot, turned aside by the right leg of Bouquet. Loose ball in the corner. 3 Rush, battling. Who's going to come away with it? As Matt Beers and Boudreau battle each other for the loose ball. Beers turns it over to Salama. Nice job by Eli Salama to cause that turnover. And Beers is quickly going to have to go off the floor as his stick broke in half.
It was a manly loose ball effort by Beers, hacking and whacking to get that loose. He probably put a little strain on the weapon there. And then when he got Salama in his face, snapped the weapon right in half.
Hayes shot just goes wide. Loose ball picked up by Jared Smith. He's going to run. Calgary back in numbers. Jesse King backtracking. Jared Smith with a shot. Took a deflection to go up and out of play. No, it didn't take a deflection. Dilks is begging with the officials. Now they're going to converse with each other and see if anyone saw the deflection. And they're going to give possession to Calgary. Unlucky break there for the Rush. Here's Zach Courier. There's a Courier clan in the house. We'll get a shot of the Courier family here inside the Saddledome later on in the broadcast. There's brother Josh Courier, Tanner Cook. Into the corner, Dan Taylor. Turns, shoots, hit the post past Bouquet, and it's gonna go all the way down to Del Bianco. And fresh 30 for the Roughnecks. Big Tanner Cook. 15 points in the second year. Oh, and he had the backhand flip to King, but the turf monster got him, and the pass doesn't connect.
He would have been wide open. Great 2-man setup there by King. Sets a hard pick, rolls inside, stumbles on his way to the cage.
Bounce pass to Bobby Kidd III, right down the middle. One more shot there, and that'll go off the glass. Half boards to Robert Church, knocked down by Cornwall. Now Ryan Keenan. And too many men coming here to Saskatchewan as they had 6 bodies on the floor. So the Roughnecks are going to head to their first power play of the game and a chance to score that all-important first goal, Brad.
And they haven't been successful on the power play. Second worst in the National Lacrosse League, just 31%. We saw them spending a little bit of time on that at shoot-around this morning. So we get the call.
Saskatchewan penalty, 2 minutes, illegal substitution.
Working on the power play on shoot-around this morning, spending some considerable time on it, so we'll see what they come up with here. And Sask PK was massive last week in Vancouver. 6 minutes straight penalty kill in the third quarter was the turning point in that win against Vancouver.
Rush killed off 62% of their penalties. Here's a shot by King, goes wide, loose ball, gonna bounce towards center. Running onto it is Dilks. This will be over and back. And Dilks will pick it up, get some early pressure, and give it off to the rookie, Austin Madronic, who gets rave reviews from everybody in the Rush organization, from players all the way up to general manager Derek Keenan, who's here in the building tonight. Happy birthday to Jammer, 62 years young.
Yeah, no Dan Lintner in the lineup tonight for the Saskatchewan Rush, put on the short-term holdout list, so I think that's going to be extra touches for Austin Madronic. And I mentioned off the top, if you're Madronic, sort of plays the same style as Lintner, crash and bang, can get inside, can set hard picks, great in the two-man setup. If he can have a stick up, Matthews will be looking for Madronic tonight.
Short clock in the power play, pass to Pace, bounce shot saved there by Bouquet. Beers up ahead to Dilks, has Matthews out the bench but won't throw it, and will hold on to it as there's just under a minute remaining on the bench minor. Here's Robert Church. Had a man streaking down the middle. It was Clark Walter who factors in. Church for the shot, goes wide, loose ball picked up on the far side by Marty Dinsdale. Dinsdale down the side with 5 on the shot clock, and he'll just run to space and ice this one in the corner. Good job by the Rush to kill 30 seconds off the clock. And with 28 remaining on the minor, one last opportunity here in the power play for Calgary. Tanner Cook will set it up out there with Pace, Hayden Dixon, Jesse King, and Dan Taylor. Cook to King. High seal. Flips it to Pace. Shot off the bar. Reset, rebound right to Jesse King. Fresh 30, 5 on the minor. So Calgary might want to hold on to this one. Pace, shot, another save by Bouquet. And Rubish took a slash on the hand. Didn't appreciate that from Tyler Pace. Also wanted a crease call.
Pace and King both offered a week ago in Halifax. Their two best players did not score a goal. Kermalowski saying if he knows those two guys, they would have been working on their shot all week long. They're getting their looks. They're just looking for perfect shots. And a goaltender like Alex Bouquet, sometimes you just got to get something on net.
Pass picked up by Curry on the break, scores! We talked about it off the top, the lethalness of this Calgary transition game, and the Courier family is stoked.
Roger with a big tall boy and a high five as Zach Courier opens the scoring. Pretty much end to end, just legs it out on his own. No one's gonna catch 77. Great hands in tight to beat Alex Bouquet. Another thing you talk about for the Calgary Roughnecks defense, not only do they get up the floor, but they've all got polish around the net. Courier, Simpson, Cornwall. It's not just shoot off the shoulder. These guys have mitts. They go airborne and they get in tight. It's so tough for the goaltenders to stop. Calgary opens the scoring.
In their current roster, as it sits right now, only 2 guys have yet to score a goal, and that's Kellen LeClaire and Reese Calley. So they get production from literally everybody on the roster. Zach Courier opens things up with his 8th of the year. Here come the Rush trying to tie things up. Church near side. Gets a pick from Madronic right down the pipe. Robert Church takes a heavy cross-check there from Curtis Manning. Madronic backhand hit a man in front. Madronic gets his own rebound, 5 on the shot clock. Up top, Keenan tucks it, shoots it, took another deflection, never made on target. Good defense by the Calgary Roughnecks in front of Del Bianco, but it's Zach Courier picking off the pass, going coast to coast, and beating Bouquet. It's 1-0 Calgary. Here's a look at Jeff Cornwall. He's not happy to be in the penalty box. He's happy to be out here with friends, but not in the sin bin. And there he gets a 2-minute holding call as he tries to backtrack on Robert Church. So the Rush will head to the power play where they're converting on 65% of their opportunities. But have to be careful, Brad, as Calgary's second best in the league with 6 shorthanded goals.
Del Bianco with, as mentioned, 3 of those shorthanded assists. Shane Simpson with a bunch of shorthanded goals. He's not on this penalty kill right now. Probably still easing himself back in the lineup after that injury a couple weeks ago. So we've got Salama and Courier at the top of this PK.
There's Robert Church, shot turned aside by the left leg of Del Bianco. Loose ball picked up by Salama, and he's going to be able to sprint across the timeline. One-on-one with Jared Smith, but Salama decides to pull out, backtrack, and kill some time. Float the ball to Courier, and Calgary will look to kill off some time, maybe get a reset here. Tanner Cook near side has it. Jared Smith will pick him up, and Jared Smith has been an absolute diamond in the rough find for the Saskatchewan Rush. They had eyes on him in the offseason and promised him a top 10 spot on their roster, and he said, okay, I'm in. And he has been full value for the Rush.
Yeah, he's been a full-timer ever since. Gets up and down the floor to hurry, playing some solid defensive minutes for this squad as well.
Palace, Keenan, Church, Matthews, and on the corners, Dinsdale. Shot there from Keenan, turned aside by Del Bianco, who looks real settled in early on here. Fresh 30 for the Rush. Keenan to Matthews. Little flip pass, doesn't connect, and a heavy cross check on Church. And now Saskatchewan got to hurry up and get back. Church just slowly getting to his feet and back in the defensive side of the ball. Courier deep in the corner. We'll give it off to brother Josh. If you haven't seen it, a great new Warrior lacrosse commercial featuring the Courier brothers. They continue to put out absolute comedy. Here's Sesh Van Sheppen with a shift on the short man unit. Shot goes wide. Let's be back over on Calgary. So 14 seconds remaining on the minor. One more opportunity here for the Rush to try to tie things up. 7:05 remaining in the opening quarter. NLL on TSN Game of the Week. Chantel Chan, Brad Chowner, myself. Thanks for joining in. Church shot, another nice save, this time with the right leg of Del Bianco. And what's the call? Referees are going to discuss something here. Maybe an inadvertent reset on the shot clock, not too sure. Head crew chief Chris Williams will come over to the box and have a conversation with the timekeepers. Crazy weekend here for the Roughnecks, Brad, as they play home tonight against the Rush, and then waiting in the wings tomorrow night or the Colorado Mammoth.
That's a rarity to play the back-to-back home and home. Calgary did it last year, was actually 2-0. Very tough to do in the National Lacrosse League. There's been 5 back-to-backs this season. Only one team has won both. That's the Buffalo Bandits.
So Chris Williams will head over and explain what's happening with head coach Kurt Malosky and Jimmy Quinlan.
But a great sports weekend nonetheless. We're hearing upwards of 13,000 in the building tonight. It's season ticket holder appreciation night, so a lot of post-game festivities, and then I think they've got about 10,000 sold for tomorrow night as well. So what a weekend for to be a Roughnecks fan here in Calgary.
So Chris Williams just explaining what the holdup is here to both coaches. And I think it might just be a shot clock issue. But again, we are unaware here. This kid's having a good time with cowbell and some candy. There's Zach Courier open the scoring here with his 8th of the year.
So we're hearing that it is an in-house clock issue that they're going to get looked at and remedied. We're going to get a call here from the refs.
The 3 seconds on the power play is accurate. The clock is perfect. We're just going to go from here.
There we go. Thank you, Chico.
Sounds like a plan.
It's good to me. So fresh 30. 3 seconds remaining on the minor. So Jeff Cornwall eagerly waiting to get back on the floor. Don't think the Rush will take a quick shot. They'll let Cornwall step back on the floor and then start moving towards the net. Cornwall is out. Here they go. Keenan to Palace in the corner. Quick shot feed. Nice save there by Del Bianco as he go post to post to deny Robert Church. And Saskatchewan 0 for 1 with the man advantage. Courier down the pipe to Waters. Pass just behind him. Pace finds that loose ball, but immediately double teamed in the corner. And that's Garland and Jeremy Searle keeping Pace tied up. Ball pops free. Kicked up ahead. Now Saskatchewan just trying to muck this one and keep it loose and get a free possession as the shot clock winds down. And there it will go. So it'll be rush ball. Good job there by Searle and Garland. Searle getting in his first game in quite a while. He's factored into 3 so far this season.
Mike Mallory to the IR, creating that room for the Rush draft pick.
Here's Austin Madronic. Pass. And Palace wasn't looking. Goes off the sideboards to Keenan, though. Lucky bounce there for the Rush. Now Dinsdale near side. Skips it to Keenan. Get a pick there from Clark Walter. Turns the corner. Ryan Keenan shot. Saved Del Bianco. Del Bianco looking for a long feed. Finds Simpson. Heads up. Big hit there from Beers, but Simpson able to keep his balance and hold on to possession. Now Jesse King. Late man is Hayden Dixon. Pace far corner, watched there by Boudreau. Back to King. 5 on the shot clock. King watched there by Rubish. One more pace. Shot. Blocked in front by the defender. Nice job by Saskatchewan getting in the lane.
Yeah, Jesse King, last week I mentioned blanked against Halifax, had Graham Hossick pretty much on his mitts every time he was on the floor, every time he had the ball. Tonight he's going to get the heavy dose of Kyle Rubish, Saskatchewan's best defender, and that's the pressure that Jesse King's facing now, being a de facto #1 lefty.
Nice collapsing defense by Calgary. Running the floor is Jesse King, who is back on defense. He puts it in the corner. Courier will go for a change. Courier to Cook. Late man is Pace. Cook in the corner, gets a pick there from Taylor. Pace into the corner to Josh Courier. 8 on the shot clock here. Cook, Taylor. Inside, Dixon had a ball in and out of his stick. It'll be a shot clock violation, as both defenses have really ramped it up in the middle section of this quarter. We'll go to break, 4:25 remaining. Calgary leading at 1-0. The NLL Game of the Week. In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge that we live, work, and play on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Tsuut'ina, the Nakota Nations, the Métis Nation, and all people who make up their homes in the Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta. We acknowledge all nations, Indigenous and non, who live, work, and play on this land and who honor and celebrate this territory. Final 4:25 of the first quarter, shots 7 apiece. Calgary leading at 1-0. Chantel Chan, Brad Challoner, Teddy Jenner, and our whole TSN crew, thanks for joining us. So the Rush will start with it deep in their own zone. They got Bouquet pulled for the extra attacker. I don't know how long this will last. And it's just so like Messenger can get a free run in.
Yeah, take the pressure off the ball carrier as they approach the floor. Here comes the set play from the Rush.
Diagonal feet to Keenan, doesn't connect. Loose ball picked up there by Del Bianco. Goes quickly out to Cornwall.
Good stick by Calgary defender Curtis Manning, the longest serving member of these Roughnecks, to disrupt that play and get underneath the hands of Ryan Keenan.
Dixon far side. Tries to work his way inside. Nice defense there by the Rush. As Connor McClellan, stick on hands, inside feet to Cook, and he couldn't find a loosened ball. And he wanted that one. Another pick and roll just gone awry for the Roughnecks, but it's starting to come for them on that left side.
I think Beers got a piece of that one too, had the stick in the lane in the right spot. I think we're going to see a bit of a defensive goaltending clinic here tonight, Teddy.
Here's Matronic. Swim move on Leclerc. Pivots back, skips it to Matthews. Matthews down the far side wall, watched there by Courier. One hand flip to Keenan, shot, scores! Del Bianco got a piece. But it squeaks through, and Keenan has his 12th, and it's 1-1.
This is just the big, strong body of Mark Matthews. He's got Ticehurst applying some pressure, but Matthews doesn't feel that. 6'5" monster. Runs into the corner, then a little flip pass to Ryan Keenan, who popped himself open on the inside. And it trickles through. He's had the hot hand the last couple weeks as Ryan Keenan on pace to shatter his career high in goals and points this season. That's number 13. We're tied at 1.
Courier was all over Mark Matthews, pushing him down the wall, but just such a big frame, able to extend that arm and flip it inside. You got to be tighter on those guys in the middle, because Keenan doesn't miss from that close.
Yeah, you think you're doing a good job by keeping Matthews into the corner, but just still has the vision and the IQ to know where Ryan Keenan is and flip that ball back one-handed.
Messenger wins the draw. Now we'll head off for a change. Church gives it off to Powis, who's slowly starting to get more and more comfortable. There's a shot turned aside as Marty Dinsdale took a rough ride on the near side. He's a little slow. We'll hear more on Marshall Powis' story from Chantel Chan after the first quarter. They'd like to see him play a little tougher, a little meaner in some spots, but he's still really learning this big pro game. Played a lot of junior B and a lot of senior B in his career. This is a big step. Here's Jesse King. Shot off the post. Loose ball, Boudreau. He's going to run numbers here for Saskatchewan. 4-on-2. Boudreau down the pipe. Shot saved, Delbianco. Loose ball to Rubish. As Boudreau scored his first in the NLL last weekend. Loose ball now going the other way. Saskatchewan is back in numbers, so Courier will button up and give it off to Dan Taylor. Late man on his pace. Two-man lefty game here between Cook and Taylor. Dilks all over Taylor. He got his stick on it. Cook near side. Gets a pick from Taylor. Turns the corner. One more to Pace. He'll take a shot right in the breadbasket of Bouquet. Loose ball. And still battling forward in the corners, Connor McClellan. He's able to find it. Up ahead, Garland. And a little pressure here from Jeff Cornwall, trying to cause an 8-second violation. And a penalty coming, and no 8-second violation. So Bouquet will head off the floor. And a little 6-on-5 action as Matthews has the old hidden ball trick. Matthews shot, hit a body, goes wide, gets his own rebound, take another shot, knocked down by the stick of Callies. And the penalty coming here, and it looks like it's going to be Jeff Cornwall again. So a second opportunity here on the power play for the Rush.
Yeah, basically doing the same thing he did
Calgary
against...
penalty number 3, 2 minutes, check it from me on.
It was a hold against Robert Church. This one's checking from behind on Jeff Cornwall. He's usually got a pretty squeaky clean resume, doesn't take a ton of penalties. That one's on the numbers of Garland, who goes down, but you got to admire the pressure Calgary was applying and trying to force that 8-second count. Rush 0 for 1 on the power play will go to work.
Man, 2 shots on that last power play. There's a shot by Matthews, short side cheese. Woo! Doesn't get much prettier than that from Mark Matthews. Power play goal, 1-1.
Well, and the Rush always, they throw a set play to start their power play almost every time. It's usually like 6-8 seconds in. Usually the low defenders will come up and set high steals on the top guys. There's nothing here. This is just Mark Matthews stepping into and saying, "Oh, there's nothing in my lane. I'll just snipe that one." And that's why we want Mark Matthews to shoot the ball more. We do.
I don't think Kurt Milowski's out.
But the lacrosse fan does. The broadcaster.
The fandom. Fandom and Rush Nation certainly would love to see Mark Matthews shooting more. Messenger wins the ensuing draw. He might take this right to the rack. He wants to. He does. And had it knocked out of his stick right in the last second. And Delbianco had to be careful with that one. Cornwall now. Trying to run to space, double teamed. He'll flip it to Pace. This could be a turnover. Nice job by Pace to find it. Now he's triple teamed. Knocked to the ground. And we're going to get loose ball push on Rubish. So Calgary will get a free possession. And they'll pull Christian Delbianco to go 6-on-5 here with 26.7 remaining. So they'll hold for last possession here. Try to take a 2-1 lead into the break. Cook, King, Pace, Dixon, Courier, and Big Kyle Waters. 10 seconds in the quarter. Here goes Tyler Pace to King. Dilks jumps. King with it in the corner. And a penalty coming to Kyle Rubish late in the quarter. And the jump by Dilks really threw the Calgary's set off. But a loose ball by King. He tried to go to the rack, and Kyle Rubish doesn't like it, but a penalty nonetheless.
Saskatchewan penalty number 4, 2 minutes, Holden.
So Calgary will have 0.9, so they'll have to take a quick release, and as expected, Holden Garland jumps right out to Jesse King, and he'll fire it on target, hit a body in front, and that's the way it'll end. A defensive battle and a goaltender showcase between Bouquet and Del Bianco, Brad.
It really has been. It's been a defensive good start to the game, some good plays on both ends, and we'll see if the Roughnecks can try to even things up on the power play when we come back for the second quarter.
2-1 rush after 15 minutes. We'll hear the Marshall Palace story with Chantel Chan when we come back. It's the NLL Game of the Week, Rush and Roughnecks, right here on TSN. Back inside the Saddledome here in Calgary, Marshall Palace came into the game with 18 points in his second season in the league, and it's been a slow start for the youngster, but it's been a career long in the making. With more on that, here's Chantel Chan.
I had a chance to speak with Marshall Palace earlier this week, and we talked about the Every Child Matters movement and what it means to him, and he says that I think it's really important that the NLL is spreading awareness about things that happen in history and educating people that might not know about it, even if it's one person at a time. I also asked him how important the game of lacrosse was to him, and he mentioned it's pretty cool to play in a professional league with a game that comes from Indigenous people. He also mentioned he's been playing since he was 4 years old on the reserve, and playing lacrosse is pretty much a given on the reserve, and that he really took a liking to it when his brother Johnny Powless got drafted when he was 11 years old. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you, Chantal. Yeah, a great story. Marshall and his brother Johnny, two very, very talented lacrosse players. And we hope that the career of Marshall continues to flourish here in the National Lacrosse League.
Yeah, he's put 10, 15 pounds, depending on who you talk to, on in the offseason leagues. This one kind of getting into that man body. They want him to shoot a little bit more, be a little bit more aggressive. He had a great mentorship last season under Jeff Shatler. And the Rush hope that Marshall Palace can really pay off in the long run.
So Calgary on the power play to start. Backhand flip to Cook, right back to King. He'll take the shot, try to go low to low on Bouquet, who kept the stick down to keep that one out of the pipes.
And I think that's what Kerbalowski wants to see from Jesse King. Especially goaltender like Alex Bouquet. There was a few goals last week against Vancouver where he made the initial stop and they trickled in, and sometimes you just got to get balls on net, on the pants, off the toes, off the leg pad. It doesn't have to be sniping corners every single time.
Here's Keenan as the Rush try to kill some time. Cross 4 feet, and Del Bianco makes that save on Church, who had time and room.
That's one of those shots we're talking about right there.
Quickly up ahead to Simpson. He's got nobody up there with him, so they'll let the power play go to work. Pace will backpedal, give it off to King and get it right back. They play 1-2. Pitch and catch, here comes Cook to King. Shot, try to go 5-hole again, and Del Bianco says, sorry, Bouquet says no.
What a UFA signing was Bouquet. Like, he played okay in Vancouver last year, but I don't think anybody saw the elevation that he's had to this season with the Rush. And he's got a great defense in front of him, but when he's seeing it, he's stopping it. And his save percentage has been lights out to start this season.
He's very familiar with a lot of these players on this team, a former Whitby Warrior. So Derek Keenan knew what he was getting when he brought in Alex Bouquet.
Minto Cup champion with Matthews, Lintner, Keenan.
And he's been everything they want him to and more. And they just love his personality, his character. He keeps the boys light in the room, gets them pumped up, if you know what I mean. And we're all leaving as Rubish is out of the box. King heads up. Oh, a heavy hit from Rubish on Pace. And he is down. A penalty coming to Rubish as he came right out of the box. And that's a bang, bang hit play on Rubish on Pace. And he's slow to get up, going right down the hallway. Let's hope Tyler Pace is going to be okay. And he might just have had the wind knocked out of him. But Rubish will go right back to the penalty box.
Yeah, that's a big, big open floor hit by a big man, and this will be an illegal body check based on the number of steps, I think, and the vulnerability of Tyler Pace, who wasn't expecting that to come.
Let's see what the call is.
Well, we'll keep an eye on Tyler Pace, who's been the #1 righty for the Calgary Roughnecks.
Saskatchewan penalty number 4, 5 minutes, illegal body check.
5-minute illegal body check on Kyle Rubisch. And we'll get a look here. Ball pops free, unaware, and he just runs right into the blind side of Tyler Pace. And knowing Kyle Rubisch, there's no ill intent there.
No, and you see you see his feet sort of stutter step there. Like that was Rubisch lightening up. But he's just such a big man, and Pace looking in the opposite direction. No malice there. That's a tough loss for Calgary Roughnecks. We still see Pace down in the tunnel.
0 for 2, 4 shots on the power play. This is their third opportunity, an extended one coming up here. But again, we talked about it. Just 31%, second last in the NLL for an offense that loves to score goals and has number of weapons, but no Pace out here for the time being. So Courier will come out with Dixon, King, Cook, and Taylor, and they're still working on Tyler Pace down that back hallway, who has yet to get off of his hands and knees.
You can strike 2 goals off of a major here in the National Lacrosse League. Rubisch will serve the full 5.
The penalty time is not going up on the clock. We're going to look into this.
So just some technical difficulties here with the scoreboard here in the Saddle Dome, is the penalty clock not going up on the board, but simple math, 12:48 to 7:48.
Appreciate the heads up from Chris Williams, though.
There's another game going on in the National Lacrosse League right now. 11-10 last I checked, as Georgia had made a huge comeback in that game against Toronto, but it now is a final. Rock 11-10 over Georgia. But guess what, Brad? Sunday is the big day. Catch all Super Bowl 57 action Sunday with a battle between the Chiefs and the Eagles. Plus, you don't want to miss the official Apple Music halftime show featuring Rihanna and maybe some special guests. Tune in at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific on CTV. You got the Eagles, right? You're on record?
Well,
now you're going to flip
the whole Jenner family is going to come after me if I don't say the Eagles.
Hey, be your own man, Brad.
I'm taking the Eagles, and I'm taking the over to, I think, set at 51.
Wow. All right. So Kermalowski just getting some words from the training staff on an update of Tyler Pace. So we hope we will see him, but we will keep you updated as best we can. The power play, go the Roughnecks. This is massive at this point of the game. Cook to Courier. He'll take a shot off the left shoulder of Bouquet. Fresh 30, King. Cook up top. Fakes it, now gives to King. Cook. Shot, scores! Pulled it short side. Bouquet was leaning the other way, a power play marker. And that's a big goal as Tanner Cook gets his 10th of the season.
Strike 1 off the major, and this one's for Tyler Pace, as the Roughnecks make quick work of the start of this man advantage. King to Cook at the point. That's where he played power play in his junior career. And that's a nice sidearm shot to go short side. Jeez, that's a tough shot to make by Tanner Cook, as Bouquet drops the shoulder, and the Roughnecks have tied it up at 2.
But still, plenty of time on the power play. 4:35 remaining on the major to Kyle Rubisch for a legal body check on Tyler Pace. Now here's Bobby Kidd, the third down the pipe. He'll shoot, turned aside by Del Bianco. BK3 looking for his first of the season shorthanded, but denied by the Roughnecks goaltender. Back to the power play they go. Dixon, Courier, Taylor, King, and Cook again. Cook fakes it, gives to Courier. He'll shoot, try to go low to high, save Bouquet. Loose ball picked up there by Jake Boudreau.
Look at the rookie out there playing the penalty kill in his 7th game on a team that has Rubisch in the penalty box, but Beers, Garland, Dilks. The list goes on and on. That's pretty impressive stuff. They've been happy with the play of young number 43.
And just think when they get Barnable in this lineup, and they hope to have him back in the not too distant future, and that will be a huge boost. They absolutely love what he brings. And there's a shot by Clark Walter at the buzzer. And here comes the power play again. Still plenty of time on the major. 2-2's your score. And Calgary looking to regain the lead here. They let it 1-0 as Zach Currier scored on a coast-to-coast goal. Cook top center. Plays 1-2 with Currier. Flips it to King. Shot put it wide on the far side. Loose ball bouncing near the half boards. And it goes up and out of play. And the Rush will take possession. Connor McClellan gives it off to Clark Walter. There's some good dusters in the league. He might have the best. Church shot bouncer goes wide. Any lacrosse fans know the mustache of Todd Lorenz. And that's exactly what Walter Clark has on his face right now, and he rocks it with pride. As he works in the corner, and shot clock violation. Here come the Roughnecks again.
First game of the season for Clark Walter, the Port Coquitlam product. Got into one game last season. He's just waiting for his opportunity. The Rush don't usually like to go lefty strong, and that's kept him out. So it's been Powless and Keenan and Matthews, and Clark Walter waiting for this opportunity.
Pace, good to see him back out for all the Roughneck fans watching. Tyler Pace looks to be okay, and he'll take his regular shooter spot on this power play. Cook top center to Pace, back to Cook. Fakes the flip, gives it to Pace. Skips it, Taylor. He'll find room, take a shot, hit McClellan, never made it through. Very stagnant power play from the Rush, or from the Roughnecks, from a team that usually has multiple sets. One more to Keenan, and the pass was too low.
Yeah, this is a prime opportunity here. You get a 5-minute man advantage here in the second quarter. Great opportunity to work the ball around, run your set plays, and try to find something. Roughnecks have 90 seconds to work with still.
Bobby Kidd III going to play the top of this power play unit. Cook, Pace, Cook. Diagonal feed, and that pass could be handled by Currier. Bobby Kidd III finds it off the glass. He gets it knocked out of his stick. Ball loose. Be grabbed there by Currier. Fresh 30 here for Calgary. Got a tired Rush defense out there. Minute 13 on the major. King steps in, gives it to Cook. Pace, shot, save, Bouquet. Long bomb pass to the far corner. Church going to try to run onto it. It goes up into the netting. And it'll go the other way. We will go to break. 53 seconds remaining on the major. Calgary's already scored one. It came off the stick of Tanner Cook. Low to high, past Bouquet. 2-2's your score. Just under a minute remaining on the major to Kyle Rubish. Let's look at Tyler Pace. He looks to be back and healthy after this bone-crunching hit from Rubish on the blind side. 5-minute major for a illegal body check. And they've scored once. They're trying to get another on that major.
Still 53 seconds to work with Tyler Pace. 10% shot percentage heading into this game. I know that's something he has been trying to work on this season. He's been keyed in now as a #1 righty, but he's got to find other ways to find the back of the net.
King to Pace. Shot missed wide far corner. Messenger couldn't find it. King does, or Cook does. He pops it to space. And it's going to fall to Dixon late in the shot clock. And too many men illegal substitution on Calgary. So that will kill the major. And we'll play 4-on-4 for 25 seconds, and then the Rush will head to their third power play.
Calgary, only 2 minutes illegal substitution.
Bit of a scrambly play in front of the Roughnecks bench, fighting for that loose ball. They're like, are we going to change? Are we going to get possession back? A little mismanagement there. And the who are the Rough? The Rush will be on the power play in 25 seconds.
Rush, Roughnecks, Rough Riders. There's a lot of Rough, Rush.
But don't call them Roughies.
No, don't do that, Brad. You'll be blackballed from Calgary forever.
Stampeders were just in the building, throwing out hats to the crowd.
And Diener.
Terry from FUBAR in the building.
Here come the rush, 4-on-4. Pass inside to Dinsdale, doesn't connect. Church has in the far corner, 20 on the shot clock. Keenan. Now Mark Matthews, who has a power play goal here tonight. Comes off a Keenan screen, gets right down the middle, takes a shot, missed short side. And that'll end up in the back of the net. Possession to Jeff Cornwall on the Roughnecks. Up ahead, Dr. Curtis Manning. Rubish out of the box. So a abbreviated power play here for Saskatchewan. Calgary looks to kill some time. It's a shot and a save by Bouquet. Off Hayden Dixon, who cuts to the middle. Now running is Boudreau, man off the bench. Jake Boudreau, shot saved by Del Bianco. Now Calgary going to try and run shorthanded. This is one of their strengths. Simpson, and he won't force the issue. We'll go far side to Jesse King. A couple defenders will go for a change. Kid on King. Now Taylor. 7 minutes remaining here in the half. 6 on the shot clock. King. The throw one to Pace, who tried to play decoy. And it'll be a shot clock violation with Bobby Kidd third, finding the loose ball. .30 seconds on the minor. Church and Dinsdale play 1-2 now Mark Matthews. Backpedaling is Church into the corner. Church gets it right back. He'll shoot off the low corner of the pipe. And now Cornwall trying to run onto it. He's going to find a loose ball. He's got a half partial break. Dilks is back. Cornwall running. And good job by Saskatchewan to get back defensively. Manning quickly moves it to Salama.
Whenever Cornwall gets the ball now, you're expecting a big play to develop. This time he wisely pulls it out, waits for 5-on-5 and get back to action.
One shot on the power play for Saskatchewan. We're back to 5 aside. Here comes the captain, Ryan Dilks, across center.
There's too much time on the clock for Cornwall to do anything. He only does his damage with 0.1, 0.2 seconds left.
Back to 5-on-5 we play. Inside, Dinsdale scores. Del Bianco got a piece. But the Marty Party breaks the tie, and it's 3-2 Saskatchewan.
Just powers it in, tiptoes the crease. Marty Dinsdale comes all the way around on Christian Del Bianco. It's a hard cut. Simpson just kind of lets up on him and he's gone. And Dinsdale finds the back of that. You know, they knew what they were going to get at Marty Dinsdale, but talking to Derek Keenan this morning, they're almost pleasantly surprised of how much they're getting from Marty Dinsdale at this stage in his career. Had a fantastic training camp and continues to set hard picks and find the back of the net like he's been doing forever.
Let's hear more on Marty Dinsdale from Chantel Chan.
Yeah, I was talking to Mark Matthews earlier last week, and he told me one of the best acquisitions that they actually made was Marty Dinsdale, because I played with him before, and yeah, he's fit in perfectly. Teddy, Brad?
Thank you. It also allowed them to kind of move on from Josh Courier, which has benefited the Calgary Roughnecks.
Yeah, so it all works out for everybody.
Here is the aforementioned Marty Dinsdale.
Courier, who was a little banged up last season, part of the reason why he didn't completely fit into this home, but has really found himself comfortably as a member of the Calgary Roughnecks, playing with baby brother Zach.
Dinsdale has the go-ahead goal with 3-2. Saskatchewan leading Calgary in the NLL on TSN. Game of the week. Coming up on the Guaranteed Halftime Report, highlights and analysis. Plus, we'll break down the draft classes of both of these teams. There's Austin Madronic, a recent draft pick of the Saskatchewan Rush, and Seth Van Scheppen, draft pick of the Calgary Roughnecks, and why it's important to draft properly. And both these teams are highly adept at that. All coming up on the Guaranteed Rate Halftime Report in 4:50 or so. So 3-2 is your score as Marty Dinsdale has the Rush in front. Jesse King of the Roughnecks trying to tie things back up here. Into the corner, Dan Taylor. Watched there by Matt Beers. Comes around a double screen, now swings it to Curry. Pace on an island near side. Swim move. Garland recovers. Pace stutter step, trying to go one-on-one here, gives it off to Cook. Now King, shot bouncer, turned aside by Bouquet, loose ball in front. Picked up there by Rubish, and he's going to control the transition, slow things up, and get up the floor.
Vintage Rush D, the only thing different is that it's Holden Garland, who's only been around for a few seasons, but has rounded himself into an elite defender here in the National Lacrosse League. That's good shutdown defense on Tyler Pace.
Here's Matthews to Church. Into the corner, Madronic. Jump shot, save Delbianco. Quickly up ahead, Salama. And kudos to the Rush offense for quickly getting off the floor, not allowing this Calgary transition game to have an effect so far in this one.
Yeah, Courier had that goal, but it wasn't the traditional Christian Delbianco outlet pass. It was a picked off pass, and then Courier legged it out. But they have stymied the Roughnecks transition game thus far.
Nice stick in the lane there by Jeremy Searle to knock that pass down. Jake Boudreau will bring it across center. Boudreau to Palace right underneath us. Gets a pick there from Clark Walter. Dinsdale trying to find the pick and roll. Can't, 10 on the shot clock. Tyser is pushing Dinsdale to the corner. He'll take a shot, save Delbianco. Loose ball picked up by Calgary. Now with a chance to run, Simpson. And again, another good job by Saskatchewan getting back. Diagonal feet, King scores! The cutter through the middle took the defense away. Jesse King found a lane, and we're all tied at 3.
Well, the defense doesn't score in transition per se, but this all comes from moving the ball up the floor in a hurry. They put on the brakes, settle down a little bit, bodies are changing, and then King, the late hand on, rifles that one far side and stings it into the corner before any real defender can get over, set up, and blocks out Jesse King. What a shot, what a goal.
Kurt Malosky mentioned us too this week, and you kind of talked about it. He thought that King and Pace would be at the box all week shooting on their sticks, and they said they're such perfectionists, they always want to go post it in, and that shot from Jesse King was as posted in as you can get. And we're tied at 3 with 2.5 to play here in the second quarter. Josh Courier around the horn, down to the corner to Tanner Cook. Cook gets a pick there from King, who rolls. Shot just missed off the back of Bouquet. Roll along the crossbar, but somehow stayed out. Connor McClellan won't force it in to Robert Church. Get off to Matthews and head for a change. Pick from Keenan. Matthews being hounded by Callies. Madronic far side. Steps away from the Van Scheppen check. Matthews inside. Good defense there by Calgary. Late shot backhander goes wide at the buzzer.
I like that matchup with Callies on Mark Matthews. You saw the Matthews assist earlier to Keenan where he just sort of walked around Ethan Ticehurst and didn't feel him there, but Reese Callies, it's a big boy. And took Mark Matthews down to the ground and made him look small compared to Callies.
He's driving, good defensive play there by Garland as Hayes drives right into Bouquet. Up ahead, Messenger. Looks like Messenger's going to stay and play a shift to O here. Palace, toe drag, flips it in where Clark Walter kicked aside. What a save by Delbianco. Dinsdale, fresh 30 here for the Rush. Excellent two-man game there between Palace and Clark Walter. Church, watched there by Courier. Palace's helmet comes off. He's got to leave the floor. Delayed penalty coming. Save Delbianco. And with 50.5 remaining, penalty coming to the Roughnecks, and the Rush will head back to the power play. So it looks like Eli Salama heading off for 2 or less. An opportunity here for the Rush to take a late lead before the half ends.
Calgary penalty number 13, 2 minutes illegal cross check.
We'll get a look here. Salama right in the middle.
A bit of a headlock. The bucket comes off.
Strange one. Keenan, Matthews, Church, Dinsdale, Madronic. Saskatchewan likes to go quick, and there's a nice shot by Dinsdale, turned aside by the right glove of Del Bianco. Matthews now drags, flips the Church, backhand to Dinsdale, double clutch, one more, Madronic. Oh, what a save, Del Bianco! Quickly up ahead, Simpson. Oh, and then he tried to throw it to King, but King was going through the middle. Somehow, King finds that loose ball, and Kurt Malosky will call a timeout with 21.7 remaining in the half.
Great ball movement by the Rush, and then even a better save by Christian Del Bianco. Anybody could have shot there. Church had a shot. Dinsdale had a shot. They go one more to the rookie, Austin Madronic, who tries a couple pump fakes on Christian Del Bianco. Slams the door shut. So a man in the penalty box means the Roughnecks can only go 5-on-5 here, even with the goaltender pull. Watch this save, stick save. Reads it perfectly, and then here's the outlet attempt for a shorthanded opportunity. And the pass just in front of Jesse King.
So it's not too often you'll see a team call a timeout down a man late in the half. But I think Kurt Malosky just wants to kind of talk over what they want to do shorthanded. He is a master of the set play, so we might have something in his spell book there, and he is definitely drawing something up. There will be no shot clock, so Calgary can hold for a last possession, but I don't really think they want to pull Christian Del Bianco to go 5-on-5 here, but you never know. I'd be surprised if they do. And maybe just for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, they're gonna stay on the bench. You gotta be real. They know that they can get stung in this situation. We saw Jeff Cornwall do it to Halifax a week ago. That any time is too much time. 1 second is enough time for got to take a couple steps and launch a ball up the floor. Right? So Calgary might try to roll the dice here and hold on for last shot.
So Del Bianco on the bench. Calgary gonna run 5-on-5 here. Taylor, King, Cook, Pace, and Dixon. And Cook quickly goes off, and on comes Del Bianco. I knew it wouldn't be too long before the... We're so smart, Brad. Pace just staying away from the double team. Under 10. King around the top, gives it off to Dixon. Got to get a shot off, backhand flip inside, and that'll be the way the half ends. A defensive battle. 3-3. Goalies are playing unreal.
Classic Rush Roughnecks lacrosse. A 6-goal half. Goaltender's playing fantastic. Defense is playing fantastic. Who will have the better halftime adjustments? We'll find out in a few minutes.
When we come back, it'll be the Guaranteed Rate halftime report. Highlights, analysis, and a player interview with Sean. Drill team keeping the fans entertained. We got some dueling pianos going on. And we got our halftime with Chantal Chan, who's down with Marty Dinsdale.
Marty, a combined 6 goals in the first half. Did you guys expect this one to be a defensive battle?
Yeah, we knew it would be a battle. I think we have two closely matched teams here. They're a quick team, they're fast, and you know, we had a lot of power play short men, so that kind of killed the flow a little bit. So we'll see what happens in the second half.
You got one by Christian Del Bianco. About how well has this Calgary defense defended your guys' offense so far?
Yeah, like I said, they're athletic, right? So we got to find ways to find backs and get to the middle of the floor. And you know, when we get there, Christian's a really great goalie. He's stopping the ball. He's seeing the ball well. So we got to find ways to get shots through.
Good luck in the second half.
Yeah, thank you.
Marty Dinsdale with his first of the night. He's got 8 on the season as he puts one past Christian Del Bianco. He's excited. Can they find more in the second half? We'll find out when we come back. Back for the Guaranteed Rate halftime report. There are your halftime stats. Shots even, power play even. Bit of a decided advantage on loose balls for the Saskatchewan Rush, but defensively, both these teams have been fantastic so far.
Yeah, as advertised, kind of what we thought heading into this game would be kind of a low-scoring slugfest. Leave it up to the goaltenders. If they're seeing it, they're stopping it. But the D's on both these two squads. Rubish has looked fantastic. Holden Garland, Bobby Kidd III doing some shutdown work for the Saskatchewan Rush. And the Calgary Roughnecks always by committee. Couple power play goals on either side of things. Not a ton of 5-on-5 action. I think the second half's going to come down to who can get those more settled opportunities, cash in on those settled opportunities. The Rush have done a good job quieting down the potent the Calgary Roughneck transition game so far tonight. So the second half going to be wide open. No big runs in this game. It's just been vintage Rush Roughnecks lacrosse, Teddy.
Well, let's take a look at how it all played out, and all started with Zach Currier doing Zach Currier things. Picking up a loose ball, sprinting down the floor, going short side on Bouquet, and guess who loves it? Papa Currier. But then, you know, he does what he does a little bit more. Another loose ball, getting his nose dirty, grinding, working against a guy like Mike Messenger who wants to win every loose ball just as much. But then we got into some discipline problems, Pat. Jeff Cornwall takes 2 penalties back-to-back in that first quarter, and it puts Saskatchewan on the power play. When you put Saskatchewan on the power play, that usually means Mark Matthews, who stings the top corner. But then it goes the other way. Kyle Rubish, fresh out of the penalty box, lays a shoulder right into Tyler Pace. That's a 5-minute major, and the Roughnecks took advantage as Tanner Cook goes low to high. And that tied the game at 2. They traded goals the other way. We're 3-3, but this is just kind of what we predicted with these two clubs.
Yeah, when a game is this tight, it really comes down to those little difference makers like the power play, like if you can get a couple transition goals, which Calgary hasn't been able to muster, but definitely something we're going to have to watch for in the second half. Who gets that power play advantage? Who gets those settled 5-on-5s? It's going to be small plays in this game, and it's going to be close right to the very end.
Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboards. One other game in the NLL tonight. Toronto holds on to hand Georgia their 6th straight loss. Man, Georgia just cannot buy a win. They have been in every contest. They can't find that first W of the year. Tomorrow, 4 games on tap, including a beauty in Rochester between the Thunderbirds and the Night Hawks. But of course, the Roughnecks right back here in the Rough House to take on the Colorado Mammoth. So we talked about it before the show and before halftime about how well these two teams have done in the draft. And when you draft well, you always make sure that the future of your franchise is set for what is yet to come. And the Canadian teams did really well. Vancouver drafted Owen Grant, Austin Madronic, who's playing here tonight, along with Seth Van Scheppen. And Wake Rat Bo Hunter, 12th overall to Halifax. The Rock did not have a first-round pick, but Seth Van Scheppen has been a nice piece. He's only got it 1 goal so far, but playing some steady minutes out the back door.
Yeah, you build your team through the draft. You look at the championship teams over the last handful of years, it's always the teams that end up at drafting really well and depth, and Calgary has done a great job hanging on to their first-round draft picks over the seasons, and the Rush, probably the poster boys in the National Lacrosse League for building through the draft. And now, after their sort of dynasty run, now is their second wave with your Boudreaux and your Bobby Kidds and your Austin Madronic. These are the guys who are going to be the key pieces of this Rush roster going forward. You have to replenish. Madronic kind of the next one up after Robert Church. He will be a right-handed leader on this team in the years to come. And the Calgary Roughnecks have done such a good job drafting as well. You talked about Van Scheppen there, another one of those first rounders that they just never, ever give up. And it goes through, a lot of this core was on this championship roster back in 2019, and it continues to be replenished through the draft. You mentioned Seth Van Scheppen there, you know, drafted as an offensive player, played as junior as an offensive player, needs to fit into this lineup. Kurt Malowski giving him a defensive job to start the season. We'll see how long that carries on for. Is he a full-timer back there for his career? I don't know. But we'll probably see him get moved up to the front gate in the next couple of seasons as he continues to develop in this league.
20 first-rounders in this game alone between these two clubs. It is a beautiful display of the future of this game. The dueling piano is keeping everybody entertained here at halftime. When we come back, the final 30 minutes between the Roughnecks and the Rush. Will the offense find their way, or will the defense hold their form? Getting it set for the second half here in Calgary, tied at 3s, a goaltender duel as Alex Bouquet and Christian Del Bianco apply their trade. And Alex Bouquet was the talk of the social media world this past week, and he's living up to the hype as he continues to play stellar between the pipes.
Yeah, he's such a character guy, is Alex Bouquet, and the guys are riding and dying with him so far this season. He's a great glue piece, and the Rush love having Alex Bouquet around. He's made a lot of key stops at key situations and key times so far this season, has kept his team in every game and cruised them to this 4-2 record.
And at the other end, Christian Del Bianco, no surprise, he's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, 54 saves last week in Halifax, a handful to start the game tonight. It's been a real goaltending duo. We haven't seen that long bomb outlet pass. Credit to Saskatchewan for taking those opportunities away to start this game. But when Christian Del Bianco is dialed, usually good things happen for the Calgary Roughnecks. Mark Matthews in on all 3 Rush goals. Teddy, that brings him to 896 career points. Knock, knock, knocking on 900's door.
Is that good?
It's all right. 15th all time, I believe.
Well, he would love to get a few more, and he'd love to get his team a few more as Mac, the TELUS ball kit, brings out the second half face-off. An awesome tradition they have here in Calgary. He goes down the bench and gets some high fives and knuckles from the boys. Oftentimes those kids never want to leave the floor. But Mac, time's up, buddy.
Why would you?
All right, so Messenger and Courier at the dot. And it's kind of a theme in the West, maybe outside of Timmy Edwards and Tyrell Hamer-Jacks. No real pure draw guys in the West. You got a lot of D guys taking draws, and it adds a little spice because there's no decided advantage, but that time Messenger wins it clean. And here come the Rush still in the power play for 1:10 as they look to take the lead. Salama still in the box. Inside feed, one more there for Keenan. He hooked it in a stick and went up and out of play, but a good look there right away for Saskatchewan on the power play.
First of 3 meetings this year between these two teams. Calgary won all 3 last season. They're 32-21 all time.
Here's King. Dixon, a heavy outside shot turned aside by Bouquet. 2006 was the first year for the Rush organization when they were playing in Edmonton.
I think I know a guy on that team.
You know a few guys on that team. Jimmy Quinlan played 127 games for the Rush organization, 219 points. As Salama, fresh out of the box, knocks the ball out of Robert Church's stick. Now he's going to try and run slow transition.
Church had no idea Salama was creeping up behind him. Chop that stick free, get that loose ball for his team.
Here's Kyle Waters. Find somebody to pass to. Now goes near side Jesse King. King look inside to Pace, scores! Great off-ball cut from Tyler Pace. As he gets his 10th of the season, gives the team a 4-3 lead. A minute 40 into the half.
Tyler Pace is feeling all right. Gets himself to a dangerous area on the floor. The hard cut through the middle, got a player draped on his back in Ryan Dilks. Pace able to bring the pass in, swim off of his defender, and twist that one back to the short side, and the Roughnecks are on top for the first time tonight.
A nice seeing eye shot there by, or pass from Jesse King. And Chris Williams, the crew chief, coming over to have some words with Joe Catalano. I think they're just having some issues with the far end shot clock, but they've been having issues with this score clock all night long. According to it, the Rush have, quote, 4 shots. I don't think that's right. So here Mr. Ecclestone has to say.
There will be a quick delay to fix the game clock operations at this point.
So again, just having some score clock issues here inside the Saddledome, so we'll try and get those remedied.
They're just working out the kinks for tomorrow night. So Colorado Mammoth will come in here.
Let's take a look one more time. Just an off ball right down the pipe, and I'm actually kind of surprised Jimmy Quinlan didn't challenge that.
That is pretty close, even before the landing. See if the shoes
Watch
will
his
step
right
in the
foot
crease
right here. Yeah, that's on the crease.
He's not going to like that when he watches this broadcast back.
But nonetheless,
yeah, we'll see if this ends up being an important goal. First lead for the Roughnecks
since 1-0.
That's right.
Keep you on your toes. Jesse King has been on every goal for Calgary here tonight. He's got 4 points. And you mentioned Mark Matthews being on every goal for Saskatchewan. He came in 63 games, 146 points all time against Calgary.
Against one team.
Against one team.
That is unreal.
He has more goals against the Roughnecks than I had points in my entire career. So kudos for being really good at lacrosse, Mark Matthews.
Consistently good too over the last decade. 3 rings, 4 trips to the dance. And the Rush trying to get back there this season. Talking to their defensive coordinator, Jeremy Talebi, before the game. And he's kind of looking at his back end, his roster. Really the only thing is remaining from those glory days is Rubish and Dilks. Everything else has been replenished on that back end. But as we talked about at halftime, they've done such a good job drafting Boudreau, McClellan, and Garland, Bobby Kidd. Team trying to build itself up for another run.
Tangerine Raptors basketball continues Sunday as the Raps host the Pistons in Toronto. Teams take the court at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on TSN. The Raps making some moves at the deadline. I think some people were a little upset the Leafs didn't make more moves than the Raptors did. The Raptors, it seemed a lot of people were calling for personnel, but decided here, that's something you don't see every day. Guy drinking a beer, getting his dreads braided. He is going to love seeing himself on TV when he gets home.
I wonder if he knows her sitting by.
I'm sure he knew the girl to his right. Roughnecks fan, a couple more.
Always great atmosphere inside the Rough House. We mentioned Terry from Foo Bars in the building tonight. The Stampeders are here. His season ticket holder appreciation night. There's like 12,000, 13,000 people in here, which I think will be a season high across the National Lacrosse League. Roughnecks second overall in attendance, averaging just under 9,500 a night. Now, there's definitely more than that in here tonight on a Friday, and they'll do it again tomorrow.
Jackpot already up to 26,000. So it looks like they got things sorted out here with the scoreboard. Tyler Pace goal makes it 4-3. 13:20 remaining here in the third quarter. And it's going to be Courier and Messenger at the face-off dot. And ball pops free. Who's going to come up with a loose pill? It's Seth Van Sheppen, 2-on-1 the other way. Seth Van Sheppen, a Courier, scores! The first 2-goal lead of the night, and it comes off the stick of Zach Courier, his second of the game, off a great loose ball from Seth Van Sheppen.
Eric Courier again, it's all about the hang time. It looks like he's jumping at Alex Bouquet, but as long as he tucks that in the back of the net before his feet land in the crease, it is all money. And this one looks good from Courier. It just goes fearlessly airborne, jumping in. Again, great mitts in tight for Courier. Scored a hat-trick in Halifax, and he's 2/3 of the way there again here tonight against the Rush.
8 seconds between the Pace and Courier goals. Calgary jumps out to a 2-goal lead here to start the third quarter, but Holden Garland finds that loose ball. Courier, the first guy to have multiple goals tonight. Smith passes it off to Searle. He loses it. Now Salama on the breakaway. Eli Salama scores! A 3-goal run for the Roughnecks, and the Rough House is buzzing.
Now things are starting to open up. Now the Calgary run game coming to life here in the third quarter. Momentum a little stagnant with that clock issue. Now we're back to action, and bang, bang, bang. The Roughnecks have found the back of the net. Salama right up the gut of the D.
Get a look at Eric Penny coming into the game here for the Saskatchewan Rush, as Alex Bouquet will take a seat on the bench. 28 seconds between goals. Pace, Courier, and now the latest from Eli Salama. And it's 6-3, just like that. And then Messenger wins that loose ball. Now do they want to bring Penny and get Bouquet back in?
4-goal run dating back to the second quarter.
And
Marshall Powell's down in a pile on the floor. No penalty on the play.
Alice slowly gets himself up, going to make his way off the floor. Here's Ryan Keenan, gives it off the church shot. Oh, that hit the post. Courier trying to find a loose ball in his own zone, loses his footing. Gonna flip it to Kellen LeClaire. He's got to hurry up and get across the timeline, and he does just in time. He's gonna push to the corner, watched there by Ryan Dilks. Good job by Kellen LeClaire as he gets cross-checked to the ground, rolls it to King. Now King, watched by Dilks.
Dilks just jumping everybody. Doesn't care how far out you are. Ryan Dilks is getting on your gloves.
Waters triple teamed on the far side. There'll be a shot clock violation as Pace with an extra chop there on Jared Smith. Now, Smith driving. Great stick check there by Cornwall. Dispossessing Smith as he was looking to go to the rack, and Cornwall has a few extra words. Van Scheppen inside. Dixon scores! Almost an identical finish as the Pace goal. Off-ball cut from Dixon. He has his first of the night, 11th on the season. And Calgary is in full control right now.
They are getting inside. They are getting in tight on Alex Bouquet. They are dangling on the doorstep, and they are scoring at will right now. Hard cut by Hayden Dixon. He's got such good wrists and finish in tight. As the Delta native, we saw him shooting the lights out this morning. We thought he was going to have a big game, but what he does best is score goals from that proximity.
1 minute, 51 seconds between 4 goals here for the Roughnecks. A minute 51, 4-goal stretch, and they've blown this game wide open, 7-3. Here's Ryan Keenan with a shot, goes high and wide. Loose ball to Matthews. Here's Dinsdale all alone on an island against Courier. Nice overhead check there by Courier. And crease called on Dinsdale. And we talked about the proficiency, Brad, of this Calgary transition game. It's usually the first or second guy down the floor. Now it's guys streaming off the bench down the middle. And Saskatchewan got to do a better job of getting off the floor and into the defensive zone. There's Josh Courier with a shot, save Bouquet. Loose ball picked up by Matt Beers.
Good job, buddy.
Beers crosses center. Trying to find someone to pass to. Now being pressured there by Jesse King. 2 guys on the wrong side of the floor. And they'll both go for a well-needed change. Clark Walters shot saved there by Del Bianco. Cornwall up ahead. Watched there by Jared Smith. He'll give it off to Cook. Cornwall thought about staying and playing. Quickly scoot off the floor. Here's Tanner Cook. Waters swings it far side, Tyler Pace. Can't turn the corner, gets another pick there from Courier. Visit to Taylor. Late in the shot clock, through a screen and hit a body. Nice block there by Boudreau. And now Jared Smith up ahead. Quick numbers here for Saskatchewan. Smith to Church, pass was behind him. Loose ball picked up by Courier. He's gonna run with Shane Simpson. 2-on-1 from center. Simpson all alone, diving, shooting, scores! There's the full transition. Welcome back, Shimmer. And this is a run of runs for the Calgary Roughnecks.
to Simpson all season long. Teams can try as hard as they can to plan against it, but these guys are just too fast, too furious, getting up the floor. Great hang time again. Eerily similar to the Courier goals. These guys just go airborne, couple fakes in the air. And Shane Simpson has double digits in goals this season. That is his 10th. He's the leading defenseman scorer in the National Lacrosse League in terms of goals.
I know Courier does so much in transition, but you gotta think that Shane Simpson could be in the running for Transition Player of the Year so far as we near the halfway point of the 23 season. Here's Robert Church, inside shoulder save. Del Bianco goes up and out of play. It'll stay here with the Rush when we come back. But what a run here from the Calgary Roughnecks to start the half. And Eli Salama on the break was a part of it, and he loves it. And so do the fans inside the Rough House. Five minutes, 22 seconds, that's all it took for the Calgary Roughnecks to blow this thing wide open, and the final goal came off the stick of Shane Simpson, flying through the air. And with more on him, Chantel Champion.
I had a chance to speak with Shane earlier this season, and he said he wasn't pleased with the way last year ended. He put in a lot of work in the offseason, stayed in shape, and played a lot of summer lacrosse, which he normally doesn't get to do, just so he could be the best version of himself this season. Teddy, Brad.
Thank you, Chantel, and man, has he been good this year, Brad. Like, talk about a breakout player, transition player. This guy is having a career year right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, Kurt Malowski very impressed with Shane Simpson too. Caught his eye as a member of the Six Nations Junior Arrows, the Minto Cup, the Langley Event Center years ago. Malowski telling us that he remembers Simpson basically killing a penalty solo, single-handedly just ragging the ball, ran through the entire Admax, and that's when he caught Malowski's eye, and he's been one of his favorite players since. NCAA champ, Minto Cup champ, NLL champ, and now a defender who's filling the back of the net.
Here's Jesse King, drive down the sideline by their Jared Smith. Taylor skips it to Pace. Pace double teams inside Dixon. Oh, he tried to bring it back short-sided, just missed. Good squeak through there by Dixon as the Rush double team Pace into the corner. There's Madronic. Watched there by Seth Van Sheppen, who I believe has his first career multi-point game here tonight.
Rush need to break the seal. I don't think they can get to that TV timeout fast enough here, as they blinked and they allowed 5 in just over 5 minutes. And they need someone here to stop the bleeding.
Pace now near side to Jesse King. Watched there by Bobby Kidd, the 30 squeaks underneath. Nice recovery check there by BK3. Now running on the Rush, 3-on-2. Garland leaves it for Dilks. Gets a pick from Messenger. Dilks shot kicked aside by the left leg of Del Bianco. Keenan up top, Dinsdale. Dinsdale drives underneath pass. Wild shot, save again, Del Bianco. Loose ball, Courier. And he'll flip it up ahead, and Leclerc will jog across center. Dinsdale's the last Roughneck or Rush scorer, if I'm not correct, right, Brad? He had that third goal.
He made it 3-2 way back in the middle of the second quarter. It's been all Roughnecks since. 6 in a row.
Couldn't handle the pass, loose ball. Picked up there by McClellan. Oh, he almost threw it away. Beers had to be careful with it. Now they got to get across the timeline. Rubish. This forecheck here by Calgary. And that's going to be an 8-second violation. Great job by the Roughnecks, just pushing up and not allowing Saskatchewan any chance to get out of their own zone. Van Sheppen will float up top to Waters and give it off to Pace. Pace comes off the pick from Waters. And we'll go back to a side, and we're going to call here a penalty on Kyle Waters in the offensive zone, as I think he pulled Dilks to the ground to be an elbowing call here. See if this is a 2 or 5 minute flavor. So we'll get the call first.
Calgary penalty number 21, 2 minutes, elbowing.
So a 2-minute elbowing call on Kyle Waters. He came across to set a pick to try and open up pace. Right side of your screen. Oh yeah, just gets that left elbow up on Dilks, and great call by the officials. And so a perfect opportunity here now for the Rush to kind of break this momentum and get themselves back in this game. Church to Matthews. Diagonal feed, Denzel popped in and out of his stick. Loose ball grabbed there by Manning. He button hooks away from Denzel. Now pressure comes from Keenan. Manning gets across the timeline. Now gotta find someone to pass to. He gets it off to the sure hands of Josh Courier. Josh Courier driving, diving, and Bouquet comes out to lay the body. And then Garland going right at Courier, and he's gonna go at him again. Garland didn't like Courier going at his goaltender at all. I think Courier saying, hey, your guy came out to hit me. So
Rush looking for some kind of spark, but unfortunately for them, it's going to end up in, I think, just a Rush penalty, as Courier didn't get anything as Bouquet came out and initiated that contact.
Penalty number 70, 2 minutes roughing.
This is not what the Rush wanted. 4-on-4 lacrosse now for 1 minute and 28 seconds. We get another look here as Courier goes airborne, and it was, yeah, Bouquet who came out and hammered an airborne Courier. That was definitely goalie initiating contact there. Garland looking for a spark, saying don't try that again.
I don't think it's the last time when Calgary Roughnecks going to take to the air in front of Alex Bouquet. So 4-on-4 will play. Here's King. He thought about it, won't take it. Bank pass off the glass to Dixon. Now back to Jesse King. One more to Dixon. Oh, and he was double clutched before he caught it. Beers with that loose ball. He'll get it off to Rubish. 15 plus minutes since Marty Dinsdale's goal made it 3-2. There's a 5:41 in the first half. Here's Mark Matthews 4-on-4. Watched there by Big Reese Cowley. Shot, oh, that hit the helmet of Zach Courier. That'll sting. 8 on the shot clock. Keenan gets underneath Manning. Safety check when he hit the post.
Oh, even when they're beating Delbianco, they can't beat the skinny red friends right now.
Hey, that's my line.
You can use it. Hijacking, borrowing it.
It's allowed. We're a team. So fresh 30. 30 seconds remaining on the minor to Waters. Matthews in the corner. Watched there by Cowles. Now Medronic. Tries to split topside. Double team in the crease. No goals. Medronic with a beauty backhander. Won't count. Nice take to the net, though, by the rookie.
Yeah, well into the crease, but showing his fearlessness. That's something they really liked about Medronic's game. Has a nose for the net, not afraid to take contact either.
8-3 is the score. 4:43 remaining here in the third quarter. Saskatchewan trying to do everything, but Delbianco in the posts keeping the Rush out of the net. Come back. Game of the week right here in Calgary. Detroit's most powerful family and feared crime family is back. From executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson comes another explosive series of BMF, now streaming on Stars. You're a big fan of 50 Cent, aren't you?
Looks pretty decent. I'd give it a try.
8-3 here inside the Saddledome. Brad Chalmers, Chantel Chan, and myself, Teddy Jenner, with you. A 5-goal run by the Roughnecks here in the third quarter has blown this thing wide open.
6 goals dating back to the late stages of the second half, where they've run away with it. You know, I thought Roughnecks had an advantage in this game athletically with their horses on the back end and with the way that they play offense. I just thought it would be later in the fourth when that started showing its flex against the Rush.
Outside shot by Taylor, saved there by Bouquet. He'll go bench side McClellan. Got to get across the timeline, does, gives it off to Rubish. Rubish rolls to the middle, flips it one more, Dilks, double clutch, nice safety check there by Dan Taylor. Up ahead, King fakes it, and he won't rush no pun intended, as Garland steps out of the box. And we're back to 5 aside. King picked up there by Holden Garland, fresh out of the box, now swings it to Pace. Taylor open in the middle, can't find a pass, 8 on the shot clock. King will go for a change. Dixon low to low, save Bouquet. Loose ball, picked up by Calgary. I think Bouquet was more concerned about a slash than he was picking up that loose ball, Brad. Cost his team a possession, now a fresh 30 for Calgary. Dan Taylor, watch there, heavily checked by Bobby Kidd III. Taking the ground, stick check, great defense. BK3 again.
Yeah, he's been impressive. And had a handful of goals last season. They haven't come yet this year. They're not worried about that, though, from Bobby Kidd III. They'll take it, though. Wow. On cue, Teddy.
BK3, remember the name, his first of the season, and it stops the 6-goal run. And he pulls up from deep.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about Bobby Kidd III being a breakout star on this Rush defense. Here he is all over Dan Taylor. Watch the chop here at the end. I'll take that ball. Bouquet lobs it up, and then Bobby Kidd III brings it up the floor. No one's going to get me? Okay, I'll just sting that one far side high, as I'm trying to wax poetic about how the Rush are concerned about his lack of offense production. He's taken care. He grew up as an O guy, playing both ends of the floor, but always thrived scoring goals, loved scoring goals, and the Rush have really been happy with the fact that he's wanted to learn so much about the defensive side of the game and hone his craft back there and start with D. And good D turns into transition. It pays off there for Bobby Kidd III.
And he's just a freak of an athlete for a youngster. Find his highlight, junior and intermediate highlight tape on YouTube. He's just an absolute freak of an athlete, and he's displaying it here in the NLL. Is one of the longest mucks for a loose ball. Finally gets broken up as the Rush get possession. How are they going to be able to get over the timeline in time? And they just iced it. And a free possession for the Roughnecks, so a lucky break there for Calgary. And now see if they can get the momentum back here inside the building with 2:10 left in the third quarter. Tanner Cook. Here comes King to set the seal. Gives it off to Dixon. In the corner, Waters. To King. Quick shot. Deflected off the body of a Rush defender. 8 on the shot clock. Dixon. Cook. Shot. Doesn't get on target. And that'll be a shot clock violation. And got to be careful. That's going to be a penalty. And Tanner Cook doesn't like it. Neither does Kurt Malosky, but that is letter A, delay a game.
Yeah, let that ball lie, young man, and he'll give the Rush a golden opportunity to make it a 3-goal game.
2 minutes delay a game.
As when that whistle goes, there's a turnover. You let that ball sit and you head back up the floor.
The Rush are 1 for 5 on the man advantage and just 5 shots. That is shocking to me. Here's Church to Matthews. And they try to go back to Church. Church wasn't ready for it. Down in the corner, Madronik. One more. Save Del Bianco on the cross floor feed to Powis.
That was close. Powis got a good piece of it. Put it right down low on Del Bianco. No rebound, no trickling, no nothing. That ball just stopped dead.
Here's King near side of the floor. Courier far side, shot, kicked aside Del Bianco, rebound King. Thought about shooting it, and then was dispossessed of it by Jared Smith. Good defense by Jared Smith, and then an illegal screen on Saskatchewan. Possession will go back to Calgary with 1:03 left in the quarter. Pace will pick it up with Dilks watching him. Give it off to Courier, and they'll come near side Jesse King, who's all alone by himself. King watched by Jared Smith. Messenger playing the hole. Courier, step back, low to low. Didn't miss the far post by much. But Jared Smith will run onto this one and get the Rush power play back out onto the floor. And one man doesn't make a power play unit, but without Dan Limas, this offense just doesn't seem right.
No, he's in the right place at the right time. I thought Madronik could fill in and plug that hole tonight.
Angle feed to Madronic and couldn't pull the triggers. Manning got a stick in his hands. Another shot by Keenan goes wide. As the shot clock winds down, an excellent defensive stand there by the short man unit of the Roughnecks. Under 10 to go. Courier just going to let the clock wind down. And Calgary will get out of here with a 4-goal lead on the heels of a 5-goal run. And what we thought was a defensive battle has kind of exploded.
Yeah, the transition game finally opens up for the Calgary Roughnecks as they get a couple goals on the run, and they're just flexing their athletic muscle to start this third quarter as they bang 5 in a row in the first 5.5 minutes. Bobby Kidd finally ends the run, but a lot of work to do for the Saskatchewan Rush, down by 4.
Papa Courier loving it so. "15 minutes remaining. Calgary leading Saskatchewan." We haven't mentioned Ethan Ticehurst's names much in this broadcast, but as a defender, sometimes that's a good thing. So let's find out more. Here's Chantel Chan.
Well, if you were able to listen to Teddy and Brad talk about the Calgary Roughnecks draft picks, Ethan Ticehurst was drafted in 2020, 20th overall, and he talked about his journey to the NLL, and he also already had some ties when he was growing up in Coquitlam, one of BC's lacrosse hotbeds. He was actually watching Robert Church play, who is on the Rush, with the Coquitlam Junior Adanacs lacrosse team. Also, he played with Christian Del Bianco and Eli Salama, and he pretty much told me that, you know, that's why he felt like he could play in this league. He's been coached by Kurt Malowski since he was 16, and fun fact, he is now coaching Kurt Malowski's son Cody as well, so everything really full circle for Ethan Ticehurst. Guys.
Thanks, Chantel. Yeah. The Coquitlam lacrosse community is very well represented in this game throughout. There's 5 players and Coach Malowski who were part of that 2010 team that won the Minto Cup. And that was one of the best teams in the country. Well, they were the best team in the country, but one of the best junior teams I've ever seen. And a lot of that talent on both those teams are in this league right now. And they've done a great job in the minor system in Coquitlam of producing talent at all levels. Inside, Keenan scores. That's a great start for the Saskatchewan Rush. Take advantage of those power plays, especially when you get a fresh 15. And just like that, it's 8-5.
Again, Keenan slips eerily similar to his first goal. Not afraid to get inside the heart of the defense. He's right on the doorstep of Christian Del Bianco. They wait for Cook to come back on the floor before their motion starts so they don't get caught. Big pick set as he just pushes Salama out of the way for his wide open lane of the net. In and out of the stick of Keenan.
Good thing we got the score right in front of us on our broadcast monitors, because the in-house scoreboard still says 6-5. So it is 8-5. Calgary leading, and Courier is going to get possession off a draw. We're going to get a whistle here to slow things up before we get going again.
But just to go back to Ethan Ticehurst, they missed him after he got injured. He's only got into 4 games of the 7 this season. And he finally got back in last week against the Halifax Thunderbirds, got his first goal of the season. Such a fast, another one of those fast transition weapons that Calgary has with Simpson, Courier, Salama, Cornwall.
Here's King. Down on the corner, Tyler Pace. Bring it past, backside look, and just missed. Dan Taylor was wide open. Messenger takes a bump there, but it bounces right to Jared Smith. Now transition the other way. Boudreau, one more. Shot shoulder, saving a beauty by Del Bianco, denying Robert Church.
Church has been far and away all season long the top shooter. As far as numbers go for the Rush, he shoots more than anybody, and Del Bianco has had his number tonight.
Madronic with a shot low to high. Goes well up into the crowd off the end boards. It'll be Calgary possession. We talked the importance of this game for both of these clubs, Brad. Coming in, Saskatchewan 4-2, Calgary 4-3, Colorado 4-3. And 2 wins here by Calgary really boosts them up. 2 losses kind of drops them, but everybody's jockeying for position in the middle of that West. Inside feed to Cook, scores! What a pass! What a finish! Tanner Cook. Tasty mitts inside. He's got his second, he's heating up.
Cook always seems to redeem himself when he takes a penalty. This isn't the first time we've seen him take a questionable penalty, a bit of a head lapse, and then, you know what, a couple of shifts later, I'm going to pay things back. We've seen this all night long from these two, but he finally snags it in one-handed, shakes off a bump from Matthews, and finds the back of the net. 10th of the year for Cook. 11th, rather, as he had one earlier tonight.
Messenger wins the draw, tries to pass it off to Boudreau. And it's going to be picked up there by the Roughnecks. Now Mitch Wild's going to try and run. One of the most recognizable strides in the NLL from Mitch Wild. There's King far side. It's a pick from Taylor. Skips it to Pace. Gonna work a 2-man game with Hayden Dixon. Pace to King. Oh, he's looking for Dixon on the return. Now he gets it back. Oh, he's trying to go far side, short side, and just missed. Boudreau to Dinsdale, trying to go low to low, and again Del Bianco down to make the save. Quickly up ahead, Simpson. Saskatchewan was back. Here comes the pressure from BK3. Simpson and Taylor will go for a change. 4-goal game, Calgary leading, 12.5 left in regulation. King off the Taylor screen. Pushed back down the side alley by BK3. Now flips it to Pace. Laid the shot clock. Oh, and it goes through. They're going to count it. And wow, Tyler Pace from way out.
Put the ball on net. Good things didn't happen. Shot clock just about to expire. Desperation. I'll just lob this one down low. We talked about this early. Sometimes just gotta put stuff on net.
And here comes Eric Penny.
We'll see Eric Penny. We saw a couple goals against Vancouver for Bouquet last week where he got a piece of it, just wasn't able to track the ball and ends up in the back of the net off a trickler or off an awkward bounce. And Bouquet will take his second breather of the night. We'll see if this one's permanent.
He's taking off the helmet, so it does look like it'll be in the night for Alex Bouquet. But he has been absolutely outstanding this season for the Saskatchewan Rush. Their 2 losses were overtime losses, so you can't put those on him. And just tonight, the second half hasn't been his night. And so now Eric Penny is in between the pipes. Church. Keenan driving underneath, shot, penalty coming. And as Courier picks it up, we're gonna get a holding call. And so the Rush are gonna be heading back to the power play.
And if you look back, that was really the only bad goal that Bouquet's let in.
Yeah.
Those transition goals were breakaways where the defender's jumping airborne
Calgary
on top
penalty,
of you.
2 minutes holding.
Not much he could do in those situations, but when you get to a point where you're starting to get wore down, you start getting fatigued, and then a ball like that falls, time to wrap it up is the decision. And though Eric Penny will try to come in for the save.
So power play come the Rush. 7 goals on 11 shots in the second half for the Calgary Roughnecks. But still lots of lacrosse left as Matthews brings it off the pipe. Oh, now Simpson's gonna be, oh, great check there from Palaces. Simpson was gonna be off to the races. And Keenan trying to work inside, gives it off to Matthews. Down low, Madronic, Church. Matthews top center. Inside Church. Manning comes in for pressure. Madronic had Keenan wide open. Church. Keenan can't find the handle. 10 on the shot clock. Matthews, he's gonna shoot it. And they're gonna say Del Bianco didn't get a piece of it. This will be over and back. Shot clock violation, whichever one you choose. And it'll be Calgary possession with Shane Simpson.
Impressive penalty kill by Calgary. As soon as that top guy is passing down to the crease, those crease guys are getting blown up.
So Calgary will look to kill some time here.
Rush have to have 4 or 5 posts in this game as well.
Inside Taylor. Oh, kick save and a beauty there from Eric Penny, his first of the night since stepping in. Another save by Del Bianco, this time off the stick of Robert Church.
Point blank, rebound off the glass. Robert Church just can't buy one against his goaltender that shares his hometown.
Jesse King's got 4 assists on the night. He now has 201 in his National Lacrosse League career. Captain of this Roughneck squad. As Dixon down on the ground, double teamed by McClelland and Beers. And when we come back, we'll have 10 minutes left. Tyler Pace not feeling the effects of that Rubish hit anymore. A long bomb from deep. Goes 5-hole on Bouquet. Brought to you by NLLshop.com. And how about 5 straight to break a 3-3 tie to start that quarter?
The Roughnecks came in waves to start the third quarter. All it takes is one good run to pull ahead in a lacrosse game like this and make a difference. 5 straight to open the quarter, a few of them in transition. Pace, Courier, Salama, Dixon, and Simpson all getting it done as Bouquet allowed 7 goals on the first 11 shots, and now it's Eric Penny in the net, trying to get a tally on the chart for his team.
So let's not forget, this is just a 4-goal game here. And, oh, I'm good at math. It's a 5-goal game. And so still plenty of lacrosse left here. 9.5 minutes in regulation. Calgary can score 5 in 5 minutes. Surely the Rush offense can do that, but the way this Calgary defense is playing, it's going to be tough. Here's Taylor. Gives it off to Waters, around the horn, down in the corner to Pace. King was open for a brief second. Pace will hold on to it. Go Taylor far side. Get a pick from King. Watch there by Rubish as he's chucked to the ground. The 4-time NLL Defender of the Year. Boudreau legging up the floor. And Penny to the bench, so a little 6-on-5 here from the Rush just to try to cut this gap before the next TV timeout.
Jimmy Quinlan does not care about rolling the dice. He'll do it.
Shot blocked, loose ball Church. Madronic. Shot saved Del Bianco. He's not going to go for the empty netter, but Callies might. No. And I'm sure that's the message from head coach Kurt Mlosky. Unless you're right on top of the crease and it's empty, we're not shooting that ball. And then Callies throws it away. Garland. We're not going to bring Penny this time. Garland will shoot, save Del Bianco. Loose ball, Salama. He's got Manning up ahead of him, but we'll defer to Shane Simpson.
The Rush just looking for anything right now. They'll take it out of transition if they can. They need something to break the seal. Allowed another 2 goals in a row here by Calgary in the late stages.
Diagonal feet. Taylor, shot, put it wide. Loose ball. And it'll be on the back of the net. Whistle, and up ahead, Jared Smith.
Long change to this bench here for the Rush. It'll be tough to spit the offensive guys out in a hurry. If they want to get it done in transition, it's got to be done by the D guys.
I would imagine that the Rush will probably put some speed on the front door before Penny gets out. There's Matthews. So 6-on-5 here for Saskatchewan. Dinsdale, Church, shot saved. Del Bianco, loose ball, Cornwall. To Manning, Callies, and Penny back between the pipes. Callies watched there by Messenger. We'll come back to Pace. 7 minutes remaining in regulation. Pace. Watched there by Messenger. Good job by Messenger getting back in position. And a heavy check on Waters. Outside shot, Pace. Where can't he score from? Hat trick for Pace. And it's a 6-goal game.
Big fan of the long ball. Tyler Pace tonight. Just one of those nights where everything's falling. Here he is all alone up top. McClellan lets off of him for a split second. And he snipes that one. Took that big hit earlier in this game from Kyle Rubish. Left for a good chunk of time. We didn't think we'd see him again. What does he do? Comes back and scores 3 monster goals for the Roughnecks, who are up by 6.
Courier wins the draw. Thought about the shot, won't take it. And he'll flip it off to Jesse King. He's got himself a 5-point lead. King trying to tell Mitch Wild to get to the open and move. Now Mitch Wild will head off the floor. Pace to King. Pace, so he tried to find Courier in the middle. He's going to go through the crease. They had Keenan trapped on the defensive end, so they tried to take advantage. And now Penny will make his way back to the bench for some 6-on-5. Keenan, Madronic save. Loose ball, Church, and he scores. Church gobbles up a juicy rebound, fires it into the open net. And he probably won't score an easier one.
Yeah, Church finally breaks his seal into a yawning cage. Madronic, talked about him tonight, going hard to the net when he gets his opportunities. And he takes a shot, and the rebound pops right up to Robert Church.
Madronic has been shooting the rock a lot here in this 4th quarter, and I think, you know, when you're down a handful of goals, you got to start putting balls on net to try to get lucky rebounds like that. And I'm sure Madronic would love to see one fall for himself. Now here's Courier running the other way. He has been a machine tonight.
2 goals, another boat ton of loose balls to take him over 100 to start this season in just his 8th game.
There are going to be some records that fall this year. I get more and more amazed every year. But these guys just keep doing it every single year and get better and better every single year. Dunk attempt, oh, what a save by Eric Penny! He was going the wrong way and stuck the left arm out and said, no soup for you. Clark Walter, shot, shoulder save, Del Bianco. Loose ball, Van Sheppen. Quickly up ahead to Callies. And he's not going to shoot despite the fans wanting him to.
Time more precious here. You don't want to give the possession back to the Saskatchewan Rush as little as you can. Shoot that ball, it goes wide and right back up the floor for the Rush.
Pace with it. Into the corner, Dan Taylor. Oh, he goes back to Pace, but Garland knocked him on his rear end. Up ahead, Boudreau. Got Church out the front door, won't force it. They go back to Garland, inside Vito, and Madronic bobbled it. Shot off the shoulder of Del Bianco. Penny still between the pipes, so 5-on-5 here. Church gets a pick from Madronic. Welcomed there by a heavy cross check from LeClaire. Powless skips it, picked off by Mitch Wild. Numbers the other way for Calgary. Ticehurst has King out the front door. King to Ticehurst. Great defensive play there at the other end by Marshall Powers, who got a stick in the lane.
Great wheels back to get in front of that one.
Matthews off the bench. Hounded by the doctor. Church shot. Misses. Loose ball Courier. 4 minutes in regulation.
Rush going early and often, not waiting for that perfect opportunity. They're just going to cage. Matthews right now is going to hang back out in the offensive zone.
King behind the net. Watched there by Bruvish. .335 left in regulation. Tanner Cook scores! Pick and roll perfection between Cook and King. Hang it in the Louvre. It's 12-6.
A hat trick from Tanner Cook. Hard to the cage. Here's that two-man game again all night long. Cook to King. Cook comes up, sets a hard. Doesn't even have someone's bit of a slip. Doesn't even get his body on Rubish, but they know he's there, and King knows he's there. As he crashes into the dirty area again. Airborne, creases your angle on the crease. Good hands, good finish. 12-6.
Sometimes the most effective pick is a slip pick. And Tanner Cook, in one of his best games in the NLL, is with 3:26. Saskatchewan call a timeout? Well, we're going to take a TV timeout instead. Tanner Cook is cooking.
The NLL on TSN.
In his rookie season, Tanner Cook played 18 games and had 11 goals. In just his 8th game this year and a hat trick here tonight, he's got 12, already breaking his record from last year. And every goal he has scored has come from the stick of number 19, Jesse King, who now has 200 assists in his career.
Yeah, they've really developed great chemistry on that lefty side of the floor. Great two-man opportunity. Cook, the big body, sets hard picks, gets inside, finishes in tight. And Jesse King, the vision, the general, feeding the young man to the tune of a hat trick tonight to offset Tyler Pace's hat trick from the righty side of the floor.
So 6 on 5 here for Saskatchewan on the TV timeout. Shoulder save there by Del Bianco. Loose ball, Eli Salama. Runs to safety around his own net, runs through a couple stick checks, moves it up ahead to Cornwall. And then he'll go into the corner. Shane Simpson will run to space. Callies. Check that, Ethan Ticehurst. Dan Taylor just going to ice it into the corner. And 2:30 remaining. I don't see Jimmy Quinlan bringing Eric Penny anymore as they're down 6. And he's looking like he wants to go, but he will stay between the pipes. Here's Matthews. Shot, saved Del Bianco. Loose ball picked up by the Roughnecks. Curtis Manning. And Courier was going right down the middle. He wanted that hat trick. Or at least another shot at it.
You know, you asked a great question of Kurt Malowski this week, Teddy. We see
Cook scores!
4-pack.
I know you were going to praise me, so I appreciate that. But let's just adorn Tanner Cook with all of the love. His 4th of the night as he streaks right down the pipe and beats Eric Penny.
Career night for Tanner Cook. Straight through the middle, parts the sea. No one anywhere around Tanner Cook. And he still will use every inch of the floor. There wasn't a defender around him, but you know what? He's still going to take that as far in and as tight as he can to bury. 13th of the season.
Guess who passed it to him?
Jesse the King.
Jesse King's a BMF. I wonder if he watches that show. Del Bianco with a loose ball. Gives it up to Seth Van Scheppen. Under 2 to play here in regulation. Calgary is going to win this one.
I was going to say, we've talked a lot this season about the sort of rejuvenation of Josh Courier. how he's been a goal-a-game guy in Calgary. Great veteran feet, quick feet. Been a nice addition to this team, but you asked him how Zach has improved, and Kurt said he thinks Zach's just a happier player having his brother around. They have such a good relationship, and they feed well off of each other, great chemistry, and the way Zach Currier has been playing, again, the last couple of games, right back on top as one of the best players on earth.
Don't forget, Calgary will play Colorado here tomorrow night inside the Rough House, so a doubleheader for the Roughnecks at home, which is a rarity in the NLL. Dinsdale behind the net, gives it off to Keenan, scoop shot, blocked by Currier. They're gonna give him a reset. I thought that hit Currier on the backside. Shot from Church goes well wide, loose ball picked up by Dinsdale. Final minute of regulation. Palace, check that Keenan. Pass picked off by no one other than Zach Currier. Be a happy crowd on the floors. The season ticket holders will have a get-together on WestJet Field here after this one. As we are in the final 20 seconds. Taylor will run to space, ice it into the corner, and we are in the final few seconds of this contest. What a second half by the Calgary Roughnecks. They score 9, give up 3, and improve to 5-3 and move into sole possession of second place in the NLL West.
And I don't know if the shot total is concrete yet, but I think Delbianco's got another 50 save night. He allows 6. One good run spoils lacrosse games. The Roughnecks score 6 in a row, and then that was it. Too big of a hole for the Rush to climb out of with that D and that goaltending. Nice athletic, well-rounded performance by the Calgary Roughnecks.
When we come back, we will wrap things up. Roughnecks win at 12-6 on the heels of a massive second half. As Calgary knocks off Saskatchewan 13-6 on what was a heck of a third quarter run to blow this game wide open. Back inside the Ed Whalen broadcast booth, Brad Challoner, Teddy Jenner here with Chantel Chand momentarily, but wow, Brad, we thought this was going to continue to be a defensive game. We knew goals were going to come, but I don't think we saw them coming just like that.
Yeah, Saskatchewan did a really good job shutting down Calgary's transition game in the first half, only allowed them to 3 goals, 1 from Currier end-to-end, but it was really the transition game that exploded to start the third quarter, and that athleticism by the Calgary Roughnecks. And 1 goal turned into 2 and turned into 5, and then the Roughnecks, or the Rough rather, had to play from behind the rest of the game. They just didn't have the offensive firepower to start chipping away. Alex Bouquet got a couple soft ones past him later in that run by the Calgary Roughnecks, and it was started being downhill by then.
Yeah, and after he took a huge hit from Kyle Rubish, we didn't know if Tyler Pace was even going to return to this game, but he returned, and boy, did he have a little revenge on his mind.
Yeah, it's almost like Rubish is like, should I have laid that hit the way that he poked the beast? And Tyler Pace came out swinging after that one. A power play goal and then 2 long bombs from the outside. Balls were just falling. Obviously an emotional night after that. And then really the story was the 4 goals by Tanner Cook, the big righty crashing hard all night, and Jesse King assisting on every single one of those as well. So, and Christian Delbianco, 6 goals against in an NLL game. Phenomenal stuff from Christian Delbianco. So well-rounded performance by the Roughnecks.
We mentioned it, a quick turnaround for this Calgary Roughnecks squad as the Colorado Mammoth are already in town. They'll be fresh and ready to go. So how do they, the Colorado Mammoth, learn from tonight's game?
Well, it's easier said than done, right? Every team wants to game plan to take away the Calgary Roughnecks offense or transition game, but it's all about getting off the floor responsibly, individual effort, staying with their defenders to get back and play a little bit of D if you have to. Every team has said to that to us this season that that's what they want to do against the Roughnecks, but no one's been able to do it. I think that the Colorado Mammoth had a good game against Calgary in Denver a few weeks ago, so they already know how to beat the Calgary Roughnecks. If there's any team that can sort of thwart that transition game, it might be the Mammoth and the horses that they have. Eli McLaughlin can go back and stay in stride and take some transition opportunities away. And then tomorrow night, Del Bianco versus Dylan Ward is going to be worth the price of admission.
Yeah, you mentioned Christian Del Bianco, 6 goals against, and he was in a zone all night long. 3 goals against in the first half, 3 goals against in the second half. And when you are at the top of your game, playing as well as you are as good as they come. And he's with Chantel Chand.
Christian, you made some key saves, especially late in the game. Tell me, was everything kind of going in slow motion for you?
No, you know what, it was awesome, and you just see our defense getting those big transition goals, and then just, you know what, we're a hard team to play against, right? We have so many big bodies on the back end, and they really just lock it down and make it easy for me to do my job.
You mentioned those big bodies on the back end. How good did they play tonight, and how proud of you are they? How proud of them? How proud are you of them?
Yeah, you know what, like I always say it, I'm fortunate to be a part of the group, right? You don't get good goaltending without good defense, and you don't get it the other way. So I think I'm just, like I said, like I'm on a team that obviously we have those big bodies, a great young core, and it's exciting to be a part of.
Thank you so much for your time, and congrats.
For having me.
One thing he didn't do tonight, Brad, get an assist. They can't all be victories for Christian Del Bianco. It was a fantastic game. It was close, and then it wasn't. Saskatchewan tried to come back, but they just couldn't get it done. Calgary's going to take this one 13-6. Don't forget, next week we got another good one for you. Calgary at Vancouver. Will the Roughnecks be coming off a 3-game win streak? We'll have to wait and find out. But here, from the Rough House, it was 3-3 at halftime. But a huge third quarter blows this game wide open, and Calgary knocks off the Prairie rival, Saskatchewan Russ, 13-6. From our whole crew here from Calgary, thank you for watching. Until we speak again, stay safe and be excellent to each other.
Courage. The ability to triumph over your fears. Being scared, but trusting yourself to go for it anyway. The willingness to step out of your comfort zone, no matter the consequence. Daring to do what others around you won't. It takes courage to put the best of yourself on the line. Find your courage.
The time is almost here to hit the court with everything we've got. Bringing you the games you can't miss and the moments you won't forget. It's the 2023 tournament season, and we're ready for it. Watch NSIC and Summit League tournament action on Midco Sports and stream it on Midco Sports Plus. Midco Sports is your tournament headquarters.
Wow. Mia, can you send me that? Sure.
Mia, can you send me that?
Mia, can you send me that?
Hey, can you send me that? Sure.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico could help you save on homeowners insurance.
Nice tip. I'll give you $2 for the chair.
2? That's a Victorian antique.
Victorian antique.
Geico. The XFL kicks off Saturday and continues Sunday on ABC and ESPN.
Tavares! Tatum step back three.